A very warm welcome back to your latest aviation news recap. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Today there's coverage on a big airline expansion, brand new aircraft orders, and changes at Qantas that many would argue are long overdue. Beginning right off the bat though with the first order of today, and that is surrounding Luxair, which have announced a commitment for the Embraer E195 E2 planes, including delivery positions as well. The deal includes precisely 4 firm units. However, should Luxair wish to activate options, this may be dependent on factors such as demand. They do have 5 more, bringing the total agreement to 9 aircraft. Specific options for Luxair can be broken up into 2 options and 3 purchase rights, which again brings that total to what I mentioned of 5 options overall. Signed at the ERA General Assembly, the pair noted that the aircraft is the most efficient regional plane in the single-aisle segment and can easily complement existing narrow-body types that they do operate. Due to this new agreement, Luxair expects delivery of its first E195 E2 in the 4th quarter of 2025. Since the conception of Luxair in 1961, the airline has been hugely important to the people, not just of Luxembourg, but also the surrounding region. It is something that Luxair has really put at the forefront. The carrier prides itself on air services that are fast towards most significant European cities. Its focus doesn't sit on one demographic. It believes that both business and leisure travelers can benefit from their expansive operations. Luxair, if you are curious, operates a fleet of 23 in-service planes, and this is spread across multiple aircraft types. If moving away from their Dash 8-400s, its most pivotal engine aircraft family sits with the 737s, with the Dash 700, Dash 800, and the 737-8 all present. Moreover, the airline does have orders for the uncertified 737-7 and further MAX 8s as part of its move towards more efficient aircraft types in the future. Over at ITA Airways, well, they've announced a pretty sizable expansion to their route network for the upcoming winter season. ITA Airways is continuing its commitment to growth by announcing a handful of new destinations that are set to launch in the coming 6 months. But as I'll get onto a little bit later in this segment on the Italian airline, there is more to come even after the winter season. From October 29th of this year, the airline will launch a new flight from Rome to Rio de Janeiro. The A330 is slated to operate this flight on a daily frequency. Rome to the Maldives is slated to launch on December 16th, 2023, also with the 330. ITA does say that the flight will depart 3 to 5 times per week, but the frequency will very much be dependent on the period of operation. Chicago will be the latest city in the United States added to its network from Rome, with 6 weekly frequencies from April 7th of 2024, this being the first new route announced that will commence next year. Lastly, Toronto in Canada will be added from May the 1st, 2024 on a 6 times weekly service. However, ITA does note that a matter of 1 month later in June, this will increase to a daily service. As I discussed, while the airline has announced a host of new destinations for the upcoming winter season, this will continue into the summer of 2024 too. Notably, Riyadh flights will begin in May 2024, this being the second new destination in that month alone alongside Toronto. In June 2024, Accra, Kuwait will be added. July 2024 will see Dakar. And lastly, in October 2024, Jeddah will join the network as part of a general expansion from Rome towards the east rather than the west. The chief commercial officer at ITA Airways said, "These are important plans to expand the intercontinental network also in the summer of 2024, with focus on North America. In April, we will open the non-stop flight to Chicago, and in May, we will fly to Canada with the new Toronto direct route. Both destinations will be operated from Rome. This will be achieved thanks to the continuous renewal of our fleet, which will also see the entry of the new A321neo and A220-100. Sticking on the theme of aircraft, ITA has a fleet now of 80-ish in-service planes, which are spread across not just multiple fleet types, but also multiple types that make up next-generation aircraft. Notably, it flies a significant number of A320 family jets, with both the A320ceo and A320neo featuring. Additionally, it does utilize the smaller A319-100s. The airline's commitment to the A220 series is growing, with 7 in-service -300s, with a few still on order. However, as touched on by their CCO, they are still awaiting delivery of the smallest variant in the family, that being the -100. The carrier operates A330-200s alongside the next generation A330-900, which is part of the Neo family for its wide-body flying, and lastly, it has that state-of-the-art A350-900 that is also present on crucial long-haul missions. Over to Qantas, and well, it's hardly a shock, but more changes are happening at a board level, with Richard Goyder departing the flag carrier in late 2024 per a statement. The board renewal comes as the group recognises the current state of its operation, which has, well, dropped significantly over the years, as customer trust has dropped. Before the annual general meeting, AGM, which is scheduled towards the latter part of 2024, Goyder will retire. Talk of his departure has been on the lips of many, as the national carrier witnesses a shake-up to its board. While Richard will depart the airline in late 2024, further non-executive directors are also slated to retire, with one departing on November 3rd, and then 2 more leaving in February 2024 after 10 years of service. All this does follow Alan Joyce, the long-standing CEO of Qantas, departing earlier than expected and handing over the reins to Vanessa Hudson. Joyce's departure came as tensions really rose in the group, and those close to the Qantas group overall believed Joyce's departure was necessary. One of Vanessa's first port of calls has been to rebuild the reputation of the Qantas brand, or at least get the wheels in motion to be able to achieve this, as it's hardly going to be an overnight change. Many would argue, though, that the Qantas brand has reached a point of no return. On criticisms like this, Vanessa noted that Qantas had been a part of Australia for over a century, and while acknowledging that times were very tough now, she believed that the group could eventually recover. Despite a new CEO and board changes, work still must be done. Current Qantas employees, ex-employees, and analysts have firmly assumed that really only further changes will facilitate this direction. And while the departure of the key chairman is a step in the right direction, many believe that there is still more work to be done. That is going to conclude today's aviation news recap. As always, you can leave your thoughts down below in the comments on any of the topics mentioned. Again, stay tuned, same time, same place. Tomorrow, you'll be able to find another recap where I'll be having a look at the latest industry developments. Thanks a lot for your support. Take care and do be safe, please. I'll see you next time.